we will discuss on data presentation. This is based on an article by In and Lee in 2017. Um, this is just not only visualizations but also how you will clean your data and so on. So what characterize a good presentation of data and so on. So first, you need to remember that researchers are not infallible, meaning there's there is still a possibility that you will commit mistakes when you will do your data gathering, not only in data gathering but especially in presenting the data, in finalizing the data that you gathered. Now, why do we need to avoid mistakes in presenting data? Now, we need this to enhance the reliability and accuracy of data analysis. As well, if you overlook some data when you're presenting in a conference or in your defense. Now, in preparing raw data for analysis, you should avoid the following six things, no, that you need to avoid. So there are common mistakes in presenting data. Um, First is inadequate data cleaning. The second is ignoring data quality checks. The third is lack of data understanding. The fourth is overlooking data transformation. The fifth is not documenting data processing steps. And the sixth is using incorrect analysis techniques. So, in this lecture, we will talk about how you to identify these mistakes and how to remedy them. So first, inadequate data cleaning. Now, these data were taken directly from your field work as well as in your survey results. Now, in data cleaning, you need to clean the data by addressing missing values, outliers, duplicates, and inconsistencies that can lead to bias or inaccurate results. Now, it is possible that in your surveys in the future, there might be respondents who unwittingly answered your questionnaires twice or three times. So those things can be remedied by simply deleting them, simply removing the duplicates from the from the survey forms, from the data sets that you receive. Another example is cleaning based on typographic or or clerical errors. So those are simple things that you need to address. No, since we are talking about the lessening of bias result here, if you will have multiple multiple responses from the same person, it could affect how you will read the analysis as well as the interpretation of your data. So we are avoiding inaccurate or biased results. The second is you should ensure the thorough data cleaning before proceeding with analysis. So first, before analyzing the data, you need to clean first. You need to clean first the ones that you gathered. So before proceeding with analysis and then to interpretation, linisin nyo muna. Now, the second is ignoring data quality checks. So how do we say that someone has ignored quality checks? Now, there are processes. There are steps in in checking on data results. So you need not to skip those checks. For example, validating, no, validation processes and other tests with your statistical data. This is to ensure your the integrity of course and accuracy and consistency in your results that would eventually make a stronger case for your study. When you will have a stronger uh, data set that is quality assured, then you will not commit erroneous conclusions, no? Because erroneous data can be leading to, or most likely leading to, erroneous conclusions. The second is verify the quality of your data before analysis to ensure reliable results. Now, again, we are talking about reliability here. We are talking about sometimes ethics in doing research. So do not forget to load Data Privacy Act or consent forms, please. Repeat the entire survey. So again, assure assure that you have a good set of information, a good set of data. The third common mistake in presenting data is the lack of data understanding. Now, if you will proceed without a clear understanding of your data as well as its characteristics, it can lead to misinterpretation of the result. And of course, how to remedy that? You need to familiarize yourself with the data. For example, class, not only in your thesis, but if you are helping someone interpret their data, you need to familiarize what is included in the data, its variables and potential biases or limitations. Not only if you are the researcher, but also if you will read another's report. For example, if a friend asks you to interpret their data, you need to familiarize yourself with the data that he or she inputted. So those things, you need to familiarize, not only familiarize, but have a thorough understanding with the data and included variables. Now, for the fourth common mistakes in presenting data, the fourth common mistake is that they overlook data transformation. So, how do we say that someone overlooked the data transformation? They sometimes um, do not distinguish the difference between the categorical data or other kinds of data that they need to isolate. And also, if you want to remedy that, you find a technique um, that could isolate or better handle the said data sets. So, for example, if you are surveying for a certain group of people, how will you separate open-ended data or qualitative data from the quantitative data? For example, a Likert scale as well as the uh, hierarchical skills. So please be mindful of those things to be categorized and separated. So so those things. The fifth mistake that a person, a researcher would do is to not document the data processing step. So please include this in the methodology on how you will process your data. So from the beginning, validating as well as correcting the entire set of survey forms, including the consent forms and other forms. You document those steps. So developing the survey forms, validating the survey forms, floating the survey forms, or before that, pilot testing the survey forms. So when did you conduct the pilot testing? And then next would be to refine the survey forms, and then um, publicizing or floating the survey forms to the public, to the sample location, and then to transfer those data into another software to be processed statistically. So please be detailed in this case. So include this in the methodology section. How will you process the data? You document the entire process. So why do we need to have a detailed record for data processing? Why do we need that? Because first and foremost, we need we need a possibility that your methodology is reproducible or validated, as well as in the concept of transparency and honesty. We 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 detail those processes that we do. So for the sake of transparency, for the sake of validation, for the sake of reproducibility or replication, please document the entire data processing step. The sixth would be using incorrect analysis techniques. Now, um, most of the time, especially if it's your first time to use a statistical software or other softwares, you might be using it incorrectly. So you try to find manuals for those software. So for example, in SPSS, you may download manuals for IBM SPSS to know how to use them. There are many manuals published by Springer that could be used for the researcher to have a good reference on this step on how to analyze. Um, Sometimes we could be mixed up into using two to three softwares in analysis. So please be careful on using analysis techniques. So for example, in qualitative research, we use softwares like Orange Data Mining. So how will you use that in the context of qualitative research? So those things, so those steps or those techniques should be included in the methodology section. Now again, to remind you, why do we need to have a good result or a good data set? So a good data set is when it is interpreted, it can communicate the important information from our analysis. So if our analysis is very strict or very religious in following the processes in data collection, and it can be published. Now, in doing a good data analysis result, we need to follow these 5 steps. Ano? So first, your data should be guided from the clear RQ from the research question. So again, you base your analysis on the research questions. You base the analysis on your research questions because that is first and foremost the goal of your study, to answer the research questions. Now, to answer the research questions, those the data that you gathered, all of the data that you gathered, whether it is quantitative only or qualitative or the mixture of both, um, it should be focused on answering the research question, not by merely presenting the data in a chronological manner. No, you fit all the data to prove your research question. Uh, okay, so let's continue. Um, Second would be proper data preparation. Now, again, let's say that you just downloaded the one that was taken from the Google Forms. So it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. The data doesn't end there. You need to organize, you need to summarize, and you need to clean the data from those Google Forms, the Excel file. Now again, it's the Excel is not, preferably it's not the one that we use in storing storing the quote and unquote the database. No, we are not making the Excel our database, but most of the time that is the ones that researchers use. Now there's nothing wrong in using Excel in encoding data or storing data, but please be careful. Remember class, ewan ko kung na-experience nyo, sometimes when we input data from Excel, ang lumalabas, instead of numeric information, nagiging calendar, nagiging date siya. So please be careful on preparing your data in Excel. And again, be mindful on data formatting, missing values, outliers, and noise removal. So those can be seen when you will be in the second level in presenting your data. For example, using the SPSS or Jamovi in preparing your data. At teka lang nga, naririnig nyo naman ako, no? You can just chat it, no? Ay, okay. Okay, let's continue. Now, in the third part, choose appropriate analysis method. So, in choosing analysis method, again, select the most appropriate statistical method. Now, statistically, we we use statistical softwares, especially if the sample size is representing entire population. But in cases like 10 only 10 samples, called purposive sampling, um, we may just use only Excel in preparing the data. Um, but then again, in your case, you may have 300 or 400 samples, no, based on the population that you will calculate, then please use open source softwares like Jamovi for statistical analysis. So I already have in a separate lecture on Jamovi. So you can just use it in free time. You can actually download it in their website. Free naman yun. Ano? And please ensure that what you will use is in align with your objective and in your analysis. So please class, in 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 choosing those softwares, you need to be conscious that you will just use it not for the sake of getting a flashy presentation, yung parang pasikat lang, but you use it because it is the most appropriate tool for your analysis. Now, for example, in orange data mining, ang gandang gamitin. So, not for the sake of making it look good, because in the end you will be asked if why did that software end up being included in your methodology. um the fourth is you need to use effective data visualization like graphs, charts, and tables. You may also use color coding, point shapes, and different graph formats. So those are examples of good data visualizations, not only tables, no. And finally, please keep it simple. The the analysis as well as the interpretation of your data should be clear and concise. It is devoid of jargons, no? Huwag kayong gumamit ng mga architectural jargon kung hindi naman kailangan. And please avoid unnecessary and complex words. No, make it simple only. And then you just focus on the key findings. Please avoid including data that you gathered, but it's not anymore relevant to the final application of your study. So please be careful on those parts. So what are the examples on presenting your data? So what are the effective ways to present your data? Um, Again, you are not the only one who will read your thesis or your research. Please bear in mind that in the future, it's not only the architecture students or architects will read your data, but also the common people. So a good a good presentation of data is based on its use and the audience. So be mindful of your audience. Um, if you will use a simplified version, simplified version of presenting data, then you can communicate your complex ideas through simple visualizations only. So in the form of diagrams, and you just highlight the key insights as well as your findings, and it could be impactful, in the future. Again, you just don't only intend your thesis to be understood by architecture students, architects, or but 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 make it your point to other people to understand what you're saying. So in the future, if you will graduate, um, we will not need to call you and go to St. Louis and explain your data to those people. So in the write-up itself, it should speak by itself. The data should speak by itself. No, please be effective in this regard, in this presentation of data. So these are the examples of data presentations. No, the first is textual presentation. Now, textual presentations class is purely text. Ibig sabihin, mga salita lang, no? Salita. So, textual presentations, you use text or words to explain findings, outline trends, and provide contextual infos or information. So, again, this section will challenge you on technical writing. Not only technical writing, but creative writing in some way. No, so please simplify your findings using text. The text will also describe your analysis, especially on your methodology. After you wrote your methodology on this section, results and discussion, please make your text um, be descriptive. Be descriptive. Make it clear. Avoid unnecessary words. Avoid words that are too difficult to be understood. That you need a dictionary to understand that certain words. So simplify your textual sections. And again, you will be asked to narrate, to narrate your results and to explain what you are showing to us. So that is textual presentation. The second would be tabular presentation. So tabular presentation is using tables. Using tables. So most of the time, tables are used for summaries. No, a good example is what you're currently doing, the literature matrix. That is actually tabular in nature, tabular presentation. Others, we use tabular presentation in comparative analysis, no, and we also use tabular presentation for quantitative information. Um, Again, when you will use tables, please do not be afraid to use colors, colors or shading. Whether mamaya you will see an example of color coding or shading. But in tabular presentation, it is a great tool in presenting data that is repeatedly seen if you will convert it into text. So it's better for you to tabulate to tabulate rather than repeating the same conclusion or the same observation in different variables. So that is the use of tables. Now this is an example of a tabular information or interpretate or presentation by Tokoyawa in 2023. He she presented the different drawings of architect Kenzo Tange in such a way that those drawings are having almost the same characteristics, but in different stages of the design process. But in this case, the researcher Tokayawa is just showing the type of material included in the study or in the sketches, design sketches of Kenzo Tange. This is an example of a tabular presentation, but in the form of floor plan. No, you cannot see the grid lines, but it is tabular in nature. This is actually done by architect Kiho Yawita and Nishiyama in 2014. Architect Yawita, si Kiho Yawita is uh, one of the Japanese architects who trained me when I was in um, under the exchange program in Japan. So we she discussed in this paper the different morphology or changes of floor plans through time in Fiji, in Levuka. So this is an example of tabulating your findings. No, so this is floor plans, no? Morphology of floor plans. The third is graphical presentation. So graphical presentation, this is the ones that you are familiar with. So these are in the form of bar charts, pie charts, plots, scatter plots. You have already seen an example of scatter plot when I taught you how to encode in Jamovi. No, lumilitaw yung scatter plot after encoding the data. So you can simulate the scatter plot in softwares. This is an example of a pie chart done by Obrero. My student last year, uh, he did this in his thesis. No, this is just an example of a pie chart. Additionally, this is from Constantino. She used graphs for presenting her findings. So she included a description below. So this is an example of bar chart, and then this is a scatter plot, an example of scatter plots with perhaps different variables, different data points with different variables. So this is presented in the work of In and Lee in 2017. So you can do this in Jamovi also. You can do this in Jamovi. The fourth is a kind of something that you may be familiar with. I think you may see this when you will look at weather forecasts, but sometimes heat maps are used for tabulations when something is perhaps in the low level, they use red, and in the high level they use blue colors. Heat map ang tawag doon. So you can create heat maps using Excel also. Other softwares like Orange Data Mining, it has a command using heat maps. So this is an example of a heat map uh, based on the work of In and Lee. On the left side is a regular table, and then on the right side is a heat map. So if you will observe, yeah, you can adapt to this one because you are architecture student. So this would be easy for you not to do a heat map for research. If you will observe, the higher the number in the data, it looks in the shade of green, and then the lower the data, it is going to the level of red shades. So ito yung example ng mga heat map. The table is showing blood pressure. So again, you can do this, or you can use this in your architectural presentations or your data results. And of course, again, regardless of on these visualizations, regardless of these visualizations, be mindful to the level of your audience. So please make sure that the audience can understand how you will interpret your data, regardless of what technique you will have. No, you can combine um, two or more techniques here. For example, in the floor plan, you can include pie charts here. No, for example, this is the floor plan, and then include in on the left side is a floor plan, and then on the right side you include the space. No, the space that is the scale of the space that is occupied by each zone, for example. So things can be combined in data presentations creatively. So those are the examples on how you will show your data in the future. Although this would be required of you in thesis one, but again, it helps if you will have a good background on how to choose the appropriate data presentations for your study to be comprehensible. No?